The markets are melting down. They told you you're going to be a millionaire in the next 90 days, and you're losing all of your faith. Is this really happening? Is crypto the future? Is it something that can radically transform your life? The answer is yes. And how do I know that? It changed my family's life financially now, and it's going to change my family's life for generations to come. But there's some certain techniques that I use. One is called stoicism, remaining calm, taking the middle ground, taking myself to a 30,000-foot overview, and understanding that the markets have always been the same. There is no get rich quick, but there's getting wealthy for sure by being patient, being persistent, and actually paying attention to what is actually happening. Crypto is your new financial system. Blockchain is going to reframe the whole financial system. The person who is patient, the person who is trying to stay in the market the longest, and the person who's not trying to time the market and has time in the market will get the wealthiest. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a video from one of my favorite investors, Warren Buffett. Every single one of you should read the book Intelligent Investor that Warren Buffett read when he was 11, 12 years old. That's when he started investing in stocks. I think at 11, he started investing. Around 13 or 14, he read the book Intelligent Investor. Intelligent Investor will help you understand that we're investing in putting the lens on in companies. Okay. So if you think that your crypto or your investment is going to be here long term and you know what you hold, then the short term volatility is a gift. We love red and we get anxiety when it's green. So when people are trying to get rich quick, we're taking profit. When people are running from the fundamental cryptos that we hold, we are accumulating. So we're first going to watch a video from Warren Buffett, and then I'm going to show you a lot of small little clips really tying home what is actually happening. Crypto is your new financial system. Every single bank is going to have a stable coin. The whole system is going to be tokenized. So what I invest in is the new rails of the system. Why is XRP my number one holding? Because I understand payments at a very deep level. Why is Bitcoin my number two holding? Because I understand that it's a new gold and it's a fixed supply and it's operating like a commodity, and 80% of the supply has not moved and 95% of the supply is gone. And I'm already using it low leverage to buy cash flow to build wealth for my family. So I'm going to show you the videos. We're going to get deep and understand what is actually happening. We're going to pull ourselves to a 30,000-foot overview. In the back end of the video, I share with you exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to repeat the same things over and over and over again until it changes. So let's watch Warren Buffett's video on how long-term investing works. Then we're going to go into the facts, figures, numbers, logic. We're going to remain calm, and we're going to allow volatility to be our friend and the gift.
I never know what markets are going to do. I know what markets are going to do over a long period of time. They're going to go up. But in terms of what's going to happen in a day or a week or a month or a year even, I've never felt that I knew it, and I've never felt it was important. We're almost always a buyer of stocks, and we're a more aggressive buyer when they're going down. I mean, I feel much.
We're a more aggressive buyer when they're going down. It's exactly the style that I use. When it dipped on Monday, bought more. Dipped on Tuesday, bought more. It's down today. Guess what? Buying a little bit more.
Better when they're going down. I think every business should be run as efficiently as possible. And some are and some aren't. We try to buy the ones that are. I mean, I bought my...
Simple, right? So you're running into cryptocurrencies that you have no idea the utility. Like I'll ask someone, what does XRP do? I don't know. Why would you invest in it? I study Brad Garlinghouse, Stuart Altry, the chief legal officer, David Schwartz, the CTO. We look at the board of directors. We look at their innovation of technology. We look at their relationship with the Asiatic countries. They got SBI, 60-40 split with Ripple. I mean, there's so much depth to the company Ripple. Okay. Yes, I know when we buy XRP, we're not buying Ripple, but Ripple, the company, created XRP. So it's very important not to just invest in something because someone told you to.
First stock in April of 1942, I was 11. Pearl Harbor had happened 3 or 4 months earlier. We were losing the war. I mean, you want to talk about a bad outlook for the country. The country's not going to go away. The plants aren't going to go away. The people aren't going to go away. The talents aren't going to go away. The country will grow in value over time. Now, who gets it is another question.
Okay, that was the key right there. The country will grow in value over time. We always make it out of hard times. Always. So do you. Okay. So the question you have to ask yourself is which one of these cryptos, which one of these investments, which one of these stocks are going to make it into the future? Blockbuster wasn't a good idea, right? Netflix came in. So people who invest in Netflix, what happened, right? All these innovative technologies and companies, what happens? They get sued by the SEC because they're disruptive technologies. That gives you a hint. Ripple was sued by the SEC. They beat the SEC. So I've been buying when they got sued by the SEC because I understood what they were creating and the infrastructure creating. I bought even more when everybody ran from it. So let's go into the facts, figures, numbers, logic, and then we'll back end this exactly how I do this. Okay. So new the Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss donate 188 Bitcoin, 21 million to the Digital Freedom Fund PACT, backing Trump's push to make U.S. the crypto capital of the world. This pact will fund pro-crypto candidates, push the Bitcoin Bill of Rights, and fight against central bank digital currencies. Okay, this was posted by Riz on Twitter. Clarity Act Genius by Stuart Aldry. We need the Clarity Act to become law.
We need clarity. Lowercase c should not be controversial, right? And a lot of what we are trying to get back to is a faithful application of the law, because under the prior administration, they stretched the law to the breaking point where these issues were being left to be litigated in the courts and have various judges throughout the country make determinations.
And you know this firsthand.
And we know firsthand. We spent $150 million defending ourselves against the SEC's overreach.
Wow.
And we won that case with some very foundational findings, like the digital asset itself is not a security, which is a foundational principle of what the Senate has proposed. But I think so as I think about the Clarity Act or the Senate proposal, which eventually will be merged together, we need to create certainty for the innovators. We need to create certainty for the market, but we also need protection from regulatory overreach. Right now, we've got Paul Atkins, will soon have to do
this is important,
at the CFTC, that are leaning into the industry, but that could change on a dime. So these laws are there to protect the industry, protect the markets, protect the consumers, but also protect us from regulatory overreach. I think that we have to be careful that we don't overcomplicate things. It's a very, very complicated industry. I don't know as much about the technology or the regulation as others on this panel do, but what I do know is what it means to stand up in front of very bad at this stage. What we need is clarity. We need simple, principled laws, which will then translate into rulemaking and regulation.
Okay, so that's the part that you're in. Remember, I want to give you the facts, figures, numbers, logic. So first they resist it, then they sue it, then they regulate it, then they join it. That's Draper, right? We're in regulation and joining phase. We still got a bumpy road of regulation, guys. I mean, the good thing is, though, we went from a completely anti-crypto White House to a full pro-crypto White House. And I'll give you a little bit deeper analysis on that.
So when I talked about the team earlier, and we're running out of time, when I talked about the team earlier, a couple of really important points. You think about the administration, you got Paul Atkins over there, we have Slacks over there, we now have at the Fed Mickey Bowman, who's over there, and then you have people like me and French Hill in the Senate and the House running our committees. We now have a team that's leaning in, and we feel like we have to get it done now. Executive action is not enough, period. If one president hated it, this one loves it. We need a Senate and a House that gets legislation passed.
Okay, so now they're moving into getting everything passed. It's the future. We're done with cryptocurrency not being here. Bitcoin is a strategic reserve. Countries around the world, billionaires around the world are rushing into Bitcoin, okay, as a store of value, okay. What's happening now is we're building framework, okay. The Genius Act, the Stablecoin Act was genius. They're going to tokenize all treasuries. That's what Scott Bessent's goal is going to be, is to tokenize all treasuries to make the American dollar even more dominant. Okay, but still, they're going to print in a lower interest rate environment. And if the dollar is not backed by anything, it's still going to become worth less, right? So we need to understand inflationary and deflationary assets. Okay, so the billionaires are positioning themselves in Bitcoin. I believe they're buying XRP as well. You know, Trump mentioned XRP, Solana, Ethereum, CRO for his blue chip, Bitcoin, right, in his blue chip crypto. He also mentioned all those on his tweet as he was coming into his presidency here. Okay, so we're going to listen to this as well. This is just gets a little bit deeper in understanding what is actually happening. And then we're going to dive into some things that Ripple posted around the next steps. And I'm going to share with you why I'm so bullish on XRP, going into Warren Buffett's thing, why I'm bullish on the company Ripple and XRP.
I believe there were 0 hearings on digital assets during his tenure. Now you've been leading the charge. How many have we had?
I can't even count them, to be honest with you. We've had so many hearings, markups, conversations. Just the other day, I had the administration over. We are working as a hand in a glove, because if we're going to make this happen, we have to make it happen right now. I think this is the most important time in American history for the evolution of this innovative opportunity. And so I continue to have hearing after hearing after hearing. And frankly, we're passing bills. We're not just listening and talking, we're actually getting things done. And that's what this industry deserves, because it's what the American people deserve.
Okay, so this is important. So now we moved from somebody telling you cryptocurrency is a fraud to this is what they're doing behind the scenes, guys. They are working. They're over, 24 hours a day, moving this stuff forward. It's moving fast now, okay? But we got to go back to the Warren Buffett video and really, really understand that, guys, the short-term volatility is your gift. Red is your gift if you understand what you're invested in. You should not be spooked by the markets when they come down 18%, 20%, 30% if you know what you hold. If you don't know what you hold, then you should be spooked. Okay, you need to pull yourself to a 30,000 foot overview, create a long-term horizon, and lock in for the next 6 years to radically transform your family's life. Okay, so this was posted by Ripple. It was a couple days ago. It says the future of 18.9 trillion in tokenized assets by 2033 depends on crucial factors, institutional grade custody. Right? These are 5 key takeaways from the Blockchain Association Singapore workshop. So number 1, compliance by design. Number 2, flexible custody models. These are for banks and operations. TradFi, traditional banks are going to become crypto banks. Crypto banks are going to become traditional banks. Operational resilience, strong governance, and scaling and stablecoin adoption. Hence, Ripple has all the technologies to do this. And they are, to me, I believe they're light years ahead of everybody in this, okay? And I believe that XRP is a technology that can radically transform the American financial system and help free up massive amounts of liquidity. Okay, so the way banks work is you have a let me bring you on the screen here. Because the way that banks work is I send you money. Say I'm here in Arizona, and I send you money in Singapore, right? I'm buying a house in Singapore. I'm just saying if I did, I'm not buying a house in Singapore. I send that money up and through the central bank, the Federal Reserve, right? It goes up. It goes from, you have a nostro vostro account. If I send you $1 million, I have to have $1 million on this side and $1 million on this side. Trapped liquidity as that slow ass transaction has to go through. Okay. When technologies like XRP, boom, get implemented within these banking systems, within the infrastructural monetary system, boom, that's gone. All this capital and liquidity gets freed up. Think about that. So if you're a bank, what do you need? Liquidity. With liquidity, what can you do? You can lend, you can make margin, you can beat hurdle rates, right? It's all about speed now. It's all about efficiency now. We cannot, this is the important thing, we cannot go into this new wave of AI technology and this new system without blockchain technology. You can't go into the future without faster payments. So that's how I make my decisions. I don't make them off emotions or meme coins or trying to get rich quick. I do it off very long-term fundamental, and I'm willing to hold for years for price appreciation. I did it with XRP. I bought it at 17 cents, boom, it went up, and then it was at 17, or it went down to 17 when SEC sued Ripple, and I accumulated. Trump gets elected, boom, life-changing. Right? And that was just the first phase. That's the first phase of it. And I'm willing to hold forever if I need to for the next 6 to 10 years. Right? But along the way, we're building a plan. And so here's my exact plan. I don't know if it'll work for you, but it's worked for me and my family. Okay. I take profits. I don't sit there and watch this stuff go up and go down. I'm in this to help my family grow. I like diversification. I don't think you should be allocated in one asset class. I think that's dangerous. I learned those lessons for my own self. I had a business. Hadn't scaled it. I was in the business, and I had crypto. Well, they came and took away my business in COVID. So guess what? My income was gone. So now I'm staring at my crypto portfolio. I'm like, oh my God, now I have to sell this. And I didn't. I'm like, no, I'm not selling it. I've shared you guys many times. I literally humbled myself, moved back with my parents. I'm not touching that crypto because I believed in it. And I worked to get my shit together. I said, give me 1 year to fix this. And I fixed it. And I said I would never be in that situation again. So when we hit the bull run, I didn't buy Lambos, watches, and a bunch of stuff. I actually created cash flow. I invested in companies. I built my businesses. I scaled my businesses. Now we have 6 ecosystems, right? 2 of them are in 7 figures. We have another one coming into 7 figures within the next, I think, 6 months, right? I worked diligently to build these businesses and I started to make profits. I went back into deflationary assets, okay, like XRP and Bitcoin during the bear market as everybody ran from it and got pissed off and frustrated and spent all their money in the bull run, right? I went into deflationary assets. I went into cash generating dividends and stocks. And what did I do with the cash generating dividends and stocks? The increased income from my businesses, increased income from dividends and stocks. I went back into what? Deflationary assets, accumulated. Along with that, every single month, I pump money into my cash value life insurance premiums. Okay. So now we have cash flow. We have deflationary assets that have fixed supplies that increase over time if you look at a 30,000 foot overview. We have protection, which is cash value life insurance, which creates number 4, which is leverage. So in my deflationary asset component, which is my top 2 are XRP and Bitcoin, I'm using Bitcoin as a deflationary asset that I will never sell, that I'm using it as a family bank. So then on the leverage component here, I have Bitcoin, okay? And I have my cash value life insurance that both have the ability to leverage very, very easily. The example that I give is I used low leverage on my Bitcoin to buy my insurance firm. The insurance firm is paying it off. In April, it'll be completely paid off. And I grew 36% on my money because Bitcoin grows 50% every year. I borrowed at 14 from Salt. Okay. I bought the firm. Firm already was generating income. We just went into first position. Okay. It's paying it off. Once it's paid off in April, I literally made 36% on buying my insurance firm. That's DeFi. That's putting you in first position. Okay, I could have gone to a bank and borrowed at 7 to 9%, or maybe got an SBA loan, did all those different things, but I'm paying them back. I borrowed Salt's money. They gave it to me at 14%. But as I pay back, my LTV goes back up. And then once that's paid off, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do low leverage. I do very low leverage. Okay. No more than 25% because I do not want to get liquidated. Okay. So it's cash flow. I create cash flow every single week. I work to create more cash flow by doing so increasing efficiencies in my businesses, increase the cash flow. I buy cash generating dividends. There's all kinds of dividends you can get into. There's high risk options trading dividends. There's, Michael Saylor's come out with preferred stocks. You can look at his website. He has preferred stocks that are guaranteed 10%, some are 8%, right? Then you have Coca-Cola, you have Apple that'll give you 2 to 3% per year, right? There's all kinds of different things that you can look at in regards to cash, like Warren Buffett style, right? Warren Buffett makes $1 million a day out of Coca-Cola. Right? He doesn't clean the toilets. He doesn't manage the team. He doesn't have to hire team members, right? He's just an investor. He's a long-term holder. He picks companies that are going to be here. Okay. So we create cash flow. With the cash flow, we put it into deflationary assets. I use things like XRP, Bitcoin are my top 2 holdings. So my top holdings are XRP, Bitcoin, Solana. I always mix up these 2, XLM, HBAR, and VeChain. XLM might be flipped. I always mix up those 2. I should just look at it from my computer. But yeah, so that's what I do, guys. And that's a disciplined thing that I do every single day, a dollar cost average. Every single week, I buy cash flow. Every single month, I pump money in my premiums. It's a plan. It's an ecosystem. And that's what you need. You don't need to get rich quick, because what's going to happen is if you have one vertical strategy and all of a sudden you make $1 million in crypto, you just have a liquidity event. Right. And if you watch it go up and you watch it come down, you didn't create anything. You didn't build anything. Right. Then if you lock it up and you're getting interest and you lock up all your crypto, then somebody else is using your crypto. It's just hurdle rates, guys. It's just all hurdle rates. There's nothing wrong with that. Right. So let me explain this part. So Bitcoin, we're never selling because we're leveraging. Right. Then we got altcoins, all other cryptos. I'm exiting 50% on the bull run. If it hits the targets on the way up, there's no emotion. Okay. So if it goes up, so 50% I'm holding forever. Now, when 50% that's held, that will be staked. That will make income, right? But I'm waiting until DeFi gets really, really solidified. I'm really excited about Trump's World Liberty Financial. I actually invested early. I was, got into the accreditation part of it where you can buy the tokens early. I got the first early token sale. I didn't really, I kind of like was on a whim. I was like, I was kind of iffy about it. I'm glad I did. I bought into that early. And so when his DeFi platform hits, I'm probably going to be using his DeFi platform, right? You'll be able to lend, you'll be able to stake. And those are all things that, like, if you're just starting out, just take your time with that stuff. Just be very careful, right? Be very careful. Always hold on to your money. Like, I like being in control of my own money. Yeah, that's what I got for you guys. It's a beautiful time to be alive right now. Beautiful time. I do want to show you Merlin's smartest way to track your crypto. I'm the co-founder and creator of this. So this is a couple things. It keeps your portfolio safe. Okay. Now, what do I mean by that? This is an interface. We do not hold your keys or crypto. So imagine it's a aggregator. It brings all your exchanges and your cryptos into one place. So when I'm traveling, I use Merlin. When I connect to other people's Wi-Fi, or I'm at Starbucks, or Starbucks, not a good example. I don't go to Starbucks. I had somebody use that example on a social media post, but like Starbucks Wi-Fi, wherever you're at, you're traveling at a hotel. I use Merlin because it's an aggregator. It's just data. There's nothing connected. You can't buy and sell on here. So it shows all your cryptos in one place. We show you all your daily gains and losses. You can set up an exit plan. We call it a profit plan, right? We're pulling you, boom, you set it here. It walks you through all the steps, and then we send you an alert when you're close to your target, so you can be focused on your family. You can be present. You have to stare at the markets. Okay, you're like, well, how do I set up a profit plan? Boom. You go here to get started. These are all the exchanges that you can use as an interface to see in one place. Okay, you go here, how-to videos. Johnny Crypto with a K takes you through it. And if you get stuck, we have the best customer service. We believe in customer service. Boom, you pop up right there. You can ask questions, how-to videos, help center. We actually have physical customer service as well that you can talk to. And then what's really cool too is we created this for you guys based on your assets. You have a news feed that's based on your actual assets. And then you can see the market at one snapshot. So it's the greatest way, smartest way to track your crypto. To me, it keeps me safe as I'm traveling. I don't ever look at my exchanges on any other Wi-Fi. I keep my crypto very, very safe. And then also it keeps me calm, right? So I'm able to look, and I don't have to sit there and stare at my phone. Merlin sends me an alert that I'm close to my exit targets, and I calmly go do that. So down below in the description of this video, you can get Merlin 30 days for free to try it out. Try it before you buy it, or my social media platform, click the link. You will not be disappointed. So we love you guys. We appreciate you. As we always say, Warriors, rise, get your shit together. Love you guys.